This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Barbarism. One is tempted to suppose of some of them that they were composed by that functionary as the final item of his job. The studies in this book are indebted in more ways than one to such works which certainly deserve the name of standard biographies. For they have provided me not only with much indispensable information, but with something even more precious. An example. How many lessons are to be learned from them? But it is hardly necessary to particularize. To preserve, for instance, a becoming brevity, a brevity which excludes everything that is redundant and nothing that is significant. That, surely, is the first duty of the biographer. The second, no less surely, is to maintain his own freedom of spirit. It is not his business to be complimentary. It is his business to lay bare the facts of the case as he understands them. That is what I have aimed at in this book, to lay bare the facts of some cases as I understand them, dispassionately, impartially, and without ulterior intentions. To quote the words of a master, je n'impose rien, je ne propose rien, j'expose. Cardinal Manning. Henry Edward Manning was born in 1807 and died in 1892. His life was extraordinary in many ways, but its interest for the modern inquirer depends mainly upon two considerations: the light which his career throws upon the spirit of his age, and the psychological problems suggested by his inner history. He belonged to that class of eminent ecclesiastics, and it is by no means a small class, who have been distinguished less for saintliness and learning than for practical ability. Had he lived in the Middle Ages, he would certainly have been neither a Francis nor an Aquinas, but he might have been an innocent. As it was, born in the England of the 19th century, growing up in the very seed time of modern progress, coming to maturity with the first onrush of liberalism, and living long enough to witness the victories of science and democracy, he yet, by a strange concatenation of circumstances, seemed almost to revive in his own person that long line of diplomatic and administrative clerics which, one would have thought, had come to an end for ever with Cardinal Wolsey. In Manning, so it appeared, the Middle Ages lived again. The tall, gaunt figure with the face of smiling asceticism, the robes and the biretta, as it passed in triumph from high mass at the oratory to philanthropic gatherings at Exeter Hall, from strike committees at the docks to Mayfair drawing-rooms where fashionable ladies knelt to the prince of the church, certainly bore witness to a singular condition of affairs. What had happened? Had a dominating character imposed itself upon a hostile environment, or was the 19th century, after all, not so hostile? Was there something in it, scientific and progressive as it was, which went out to welcome the representative of ancient tradition and uncompromising faith? Had it perhaps a place in its heart for such as Manning? A soft place, one might almost say. Or, on the other hand, was it he who had been supple and yielding? He who had won by art what he would never have won by force, and who had managed, so to speak, to be one of the leaders of the procession, less through merit than through a superior faculty for gliding adroitly to the front rank. And in any case, by what odd chances, what shifts and struggles, what combinations of circumstance and character, had this old man come to be where he was? Such questions are easier to ask than to answer, but it may be instructive, and even amusing, to look a little more closely into the complexities of so curious a story. 1. Undoubtedly, what is most obviously striking in the history of Manning's career is the persistent strength of his innate characteristics. Through all the changes of his fortunes, the powerful spirit of the man worked on undismayed. It was as if the fates had laid a wager that they would daunt him, and in the end they lost their bet. His father was a rich West Indian merchant, a governor of the Bank of